Hello, welcome once again to Blackpool. More terrific action coming your way from the Foster's World 8-Ball Pool Championships. We are at the Imperial Hotel on the seafront and it's semi-final stages. With me is Keith Brewer in the studio, who's been with us right from the start of this series. Quarter-finals were terrific stuff. Let's just remind ourselves of what happened, Keith, and these were terrific matches, weren't they?
Yes, really exciting games. The first two, of course, didn't really go the distance, but of course the last two really did make up for it, didn't they?
Jason Twist made hard work of his win over Carl Morris, and certainly Lee Kendall so nearly claimed the game against the match against Gareth, but it was Gareth who came out on top.
That was a very surprising one. I mean, Kendall had quite a big lead there, and he had a very easy chance to go 8-4 as well. But for some reason, twitched on a ball, and then all of a sudden it was a new favourite.
Now those results mean that we've got two mouth-watering semi-finals. Gareth Potts, the defending champion, up against young Adam Davis. That's our featured semi in this programme. And still to come, Jason Twist against Gareth. So what do you make first of all of Gareth against Adam?
Well, I think, you know, there's a bit of a buzz around the arena here because I think we all realise this is going to be a very big match. You're probably looking at two of the top 4 players in the world in action. Gareth obviously going for this elusive record. Can he defend his title? Can he get the 3rd title? We're all talking about that. Adam, of course, really is hungry for this.
Yes.
So whether that will be the deciding factor.
Has he got enough experience at the highest level?
Well, I think he has, because he's won a TV event, and in the TV event he won, he actually beat Gareth along the way. They're both from the same town, Stoke, so, you know, there's a bit of rivalry there as well. All makes for a really good match.
So your prediction then, Keith, is?
My prediction is it's going to be a very close game, and Adam's going to pip him.
Wow. OK, let's see what happens. We'll now join the action. Here's our MC, Scott Gallagher.
Well, it is semi-final time here at the 2008 Foster's World 8-Ball Pool Championships. This first one promises to be an absolute classic. Ladies and gents, please give it up for Adam Davis and defending champion, Gareth Potts.
Gareth Potts on the left, the defending champion. Adam Davis on the right. Potts looking to do what no man before has done, successfully defend this title. The holder and the challenger, the hunter and the hunted. The all-important lag. And to initiate the breaking sequence. Very difficult to call, maybe just Adam Davis. Now, a race to 10. Best of 19 semi-final action coming to you from the Imperial Hotel here in Blackpool. Many sporting icons have graced the hotel, the likes of Tiger Woods, Ryan Giggs. Well, now they can see the elite.
First frame. Adam Davis to break.
Of the World 8-Ball Pool. So it'll be Adam Davis, the young pretender. Big things expected. Frame number 1 up against the top seed. And a nice break. That's exactly what he's going to be looking for. He needs to take the initiative. He has to put the reigning champion under pressure early. Delighted to be joined as always by our resident expert and the man who will dig us out of holes when we have to think like the players. Sean Baker, welcome.
Thank you, Jim. This match proves to be, it's the pride of the potteries here, the Imperial Hotel in Blackpool. As you say, the young gun, Adam Davis, looking to oust the defending champion, Gareth Potts. Very good friends off the table, these two players. But big rivals on the green bays.
Using the yellow, the in-off now opting for the yellows. And the only dodgy one as they sit, the one just beside the 8-ball. I think Adam understands there's a problem here. If you want to call it a problem, it's pretty clearly outlined. He really has to take the initiative against Gareth Potts. He knows he's come into this as a prohibitive underdog. But the old cliche, the game is not played on paper. So Adam Davis
30 seconds.
And I know he's very familiar with Gareth too. Plays on the Pro Tour. In fact, he's seeded #2. He's as high as #2 in the rankings, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
On the Pro Tour. So that in itself, a testament to this man's potential.
He's actually challenging Gareth Potts, who's currently provisionally ranked #1. Say Adam Davis #2. And you say it's not played on paper. If it was, you could be looking and say, well, Adam Davis could slightly be favourite. I mean, if you look at his path to this semi-final, he's taken out Mick Hill in the last 32, Lee Clough, who was a semi-finalist in this event last year, you know, and then he's taken out Phil Harrison, another consistent performer at these championships.
Well, also noteworthy, both players having very clear passages through here to the semis. Never really threatened. Gareth Potts, also a 9-1 winner over Aaron Roberts in the quarterfinals. So they haven't really been tested to this stage. But Potts right now in the unfriendliest position in the arena. And he's got a nice angle on this yellow. He may be able to take that cue ball into the difficult one. Looks like he's going to have to impart just a little bit of side spin in that cue ball. Big moment.
Yeah, he's just put all his eggs in one basket here, though, Jim, by opting not to try and disturb that black and yellow before this shot. I don't think he really was ever in a position to try that. You say so. He's going to just trust to a little bit of luck here.
30 seconds.
For the first time, the World 8-Ball Pool Championships welcoming Foster's on board as a title sponsor. And wouldn't Adam Davis like to be a brand new winner of this event? And that might have worked out quite nicely for young Adam.
He's going to have to be very careful here when he does play this shot. He doesn't double hit. That cue ball and yellow, see there, very close together, Jim.
Thirty seconds.
The team championship, or is that okay? Gotcha. What a shot from Adam Davis there, and bumps that red. What a dream start. Worth another look. Had to raise the back end of the cue and cannons the red and nicely onto the 8 to open his account here in the semifinal. 1-0 over the holder, Gareth Potts. Well, Gareth will have the break in frame number 2. What a great player he is. 2-time winner of this event. And he's got fond memories of the Imperial Hotel last year.
Second frame.
Convincing winner over Mick Hill, 11-5 in last year's final. Frame number 2, the top seed steadies himself for the break. A lot of power, a lot of control.
And he's made a ball. Quick survey of the table just before we got this shot of Gareth. I think reds will be the order of the day here. One slightly awkward one, bottom left as we look on this shot. But good opportunity here, I think, for Gareth, say, to reply quickly to Adam.
Looks like he left his shaver. And just weighing out
Yellow ball's nominated.
which to select, and yellow's the color of choice.
30 seconds.
And I think a trademark of Gareth Potts is his conviction, the way that he plays this game. Really asserts himself at the table and exudes confidence, and that can be very intimidating. Just bumping that awkward yellow out into the open. I don't know whether he's dropped onto it or not.
I'm not sure he has. It'll just squeeze past that red into the corner pocket afterwards. He may be forced to take on the long pot up the table here.
A very tricky long yellow. Thin clip into the top
30
left.
seconds.
Cue ball will come back down the center of the table. You notice how still his head remained after delivering the cue. Always a formula for success. A lot like keeping your head still on a golf shot. You keep your eye on the ball. And all that practice, all that training really boils down to muscle memory.
Yeah, that was a feature of his game with Wayne Smith in the last 32. I saw a couple of frames of that, and his long potting was exceptional. Absolutely rock solid cue action.
He's still got a lot of work to do. He's got a little angle on this yellow, but he may have to try and negotiate the space between the red and black unless he can force that cue ball below that red to attack that penultimate yellow.
30 seconds.
And he played it with a little bit of side spin, and that increased the degree of
ball's in play.
difficulty. Chance here for Adam.
He's not left anything particularly easy, particularly with taking that pocket.
And he's got the long straight red up to the top left. That's one option. Taking a lot of time, and that signifies there's nothing clear cut as Gareth looks on. I'd still like to have finished in that visit. Well, he decided to take that into a very acute angle into the center pocket. Obviously trying to manufacture some angle there, and well, he's bumped another red into the safety area. Just more of an insurance policy for Gareth Potts.
I think Gareth is just looking to see if that yellow will go into that corner pocket. He obviously believes it does.
30 seconds.
Well, he tried to slow swerve that cue ball a little bit, and again, you start spinning that white, and you've got to allow for that deflection, that cue ball off the cue tip, and only the top players understand how that weighs into the equation, but the speed that you play the shot and the amount that you leave that center line all have to be accounted for.
30 seconds.
Once again, though, he's not really left an awful lot here for Adam Davis. Adam maybe just trying to get the cue ball up, maybe behind those two reds on the left-hand side of the table. It's the only sort of option he had there, and he's just a little bit short of pace as he covered the one into the bottom right-hand corner.
I don't think he's covered either of them. I think they're both available.
Yeah, we're just seeing on the shot there, Jim, quickly, that I think is you right. Like they say. I mean, Jim, as obviously a professional cueman yourself, you know, when you're playing a good friend of yours on the table, how do you sort of try and block that friendship out of the mind?
Well, there's so many good pals and mates off the table in this professional game that you're probably so used to playing each other. You just know you're going to share a drink afterwards. You want to make sure you've got the bragging rights. 8 to level it up. No dangers. Gareth Potts back on song. 1-1. in the race to 10. Frame number 8, 4-3 to the man trying to unseat the title holder. And pot's breaking. Tons of power.
Red and yellow balls potted.
Cue, and I'll tell you, when I see a player breaking like that and looking at that cue, how it bent after he broke, and this is his playing cue. To me, this is a real testament to why I should probably have a break cue.
Red balls in play.
You start whacking the white like that with your playing cue. So easy. If you miss hit, you can chip your tip, even dent your ferrule.
Yeah, you say we have seen a few players employ a break cue. Aaron Roberts did in his quarterfinal, say, because they're concerned about breaking, doing damage in the cue. But I can't recall ever seeing Gareth with a break cue. So obviously he's comfortable with the way he hits the ball on the break.
Beautiful lay of the land, though, for the Reds after that break. Both players just monstrous breaks, giving themselves every chance to dish up following them.
Just shows in this game, Jim, what a successful break can do for you. Such a powerful weapon. If you can be making a ball and getting a good split on the balls, you can quickly rattle off a few frames against your opponent. But these players here matching each other frame for frame at the moment.
Yeah, it's funny too. I was talking last night with Alec Evernatis, one of the Australian stars, and I was saying how the break just didn't seem to be a factor. Well, it certainly has been a factor in this match. Nice cue ball control. Just never in trouble. The last 3-4 frames have all gone very smoothly for whoever has been breaking.
Yeah, I'm sure both players would like to see a game like this. They don't neither of them really want to get bogged down into a tactical battle. They want to keep the pace of the game high and keep flowing.
Yeah, it's like Boris Becker playing Pete Sampras. Beautiful control. Look at the speed on that cue ball. Perfection personified. Gareth Potts back again on the heels of Adam Davis. 4-4. Adam Davis, well, it's your turn. Alternating break. You won the lag. It's an odd frame. Frame number 9. Stand up and be counted.
You just wonder at this early stage how important that lag will prove to be should we reach that deciding frame.
Well, I'd wager that if you offered Adam Davis 1 frame for the match, he would have taken it in a heartbeat.
4 frames all.
Frame number 9. Davis. His turn, his break. Can he hold serve?
He's come up dry. I think he had a couple of balls there, one in the top corner pocket and one in the middle. Hit the jaw and stayed out.
Almost a look of surprise as he left the table. That's, by my count, that's either the first or second dry break we've had.
You're right there, Jim. Gareth's just looking there. That cluster of the black, the red and the yellow. It's the only awkward little spot that's on the table for either set, really.
Yeah, looking into the crowd there, just a little bit of noise, I think. Gareth, just a look up. That's all it really takes from a player. If you hear a crumpling of paper, or if somebody's eating a candy bar,
Yellow balls in play.
Just a little look, and you kind of center them out, and I'll tell you what, they clam up. Spoken by someone who's clammed up. A couple awkward balls in the middle of the table. You can see the yellow, the red, and the black all together.
30 seconds.
And Gareth, at some point in this frame, is going to have to get after those. And it looks like he's going to try and do it sooner rather than later. Great shot. Snick that yellow into the pocket, dislodge the awkward one, and now every chance. He was in front at 2-1, and since that juncture, he has not seen the front end of this match.
Yeah, certainly a great opportunity now for Gareth to in effect break serve, take this frame on Adam's break. That's a superb shot there from Gareth Potts.
So little room into that top corner, and he found it. Again, just confirming in his mind the path. He sees the sequence that he wants to remove these yellows. And if he keeps that cue ball under wraps, almost assured of a 5-4 lead.
Yeah, he's just got bottom left. Probably bottom right, that yellow. I think it passes into there. And then the one into the middle.
He's got the 8 into the open too.
30 seconds.
I'm just wondering, the yellow now is going to play it. Obviously doesn't go bottom right, so he's elected to take it top left here.
Big shot.
Fantastic shot again from Gareth Potts. That's 2 in a row.
He rises to the occasion. And now just bump this in. He's going to have the other yellow to the center. Now when the champion is challenged, the great ones respond. And what a shot. What an effort from Gareth Potts. Defending champion, 2 in a row, and he leads Adam Davis 5-4. And a ball down off the break. Familiar storyline for Potts. And will it prove to be the difference?
And if that red goes into the left-hand middle, reds will be the order of the day here for Gareth.
Red ball's in play.
And again, he's opted to take that colour. So this could be a great opportunity here for Gareth Potts to extend that lead. Having trailed early in the match, 3-2.
Seconds.
Long bridging here. Still having to draw that white back. Nice control. I think that red is available, Sean, into the left center.
Yeah, I'm sure the way Gareth's played this, and you say it certainly looks on the overhead there, it can just get by the yellow.
Sign of confidence. He doesn't mind leaving himself a little further from the next red. Could have drawn that the other side of the yellow and got a bit closer to his work. Very self-assured, believes in his ability. Long red.
Seconds.
Great action. Silky smooth. He's got a nice angle on this red to the center pocket now. In fact, choice of reds He can drop onto either one from here. This is just really personal preference for Gareth, just how he wants to take these out, but a beautiful thing when you have a choice.
Yeah, I think what he's just weighing up, he doesn't want to get involved with that yellow. It's just below the black we see there, just to the right and below the black. And he's up to bump it out of the way.
Well, that, for me, would have been the most risky scenario. Why he had to move something, everything went. I would have taken this red last, that would have afforded position to the 8. And all of a sudden, what looked to be straightforward has taken on a little different dimension for Potts.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he isn't even looking at playing this red off the yellow, because he was lining it up.
That's exactly what he's doing, Sean. Wow. Talk about a Houdini act there. Retrieved the situation very nicely. But it had to be a great shot to do it. And now just roll this in.
Well, again, I'd have expected him just roll it in. The black into the right-hand corner, but he's not done it.
Didn't take the conventional path, but he got there nevertheless. The last 3 frames have gone to Gareth Potts. Now 2 clear of Adam Davis. And Adam Davis heading the list. 6-4, he trails Gareth Potts. Readies himself for the break. Frame 11. Second break in a row.
Open table.
And Adam Davis has lost the key. And Gareth with a much easier red to start. And he's just weighing it up right now. That doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the color of choice, just how he sees taking them apart. And he fancies the yellows.
Seconds.
Yellow ball's in play.
Let's bump that 8 into the safe area of the table.
Got an angle here on this yellow into the right-hand middle, though, to get into the black and the yellow. Probably, hopefully move the red out the way. From Gareth's point of view, yeah.
And now choice once again. 2-time world champion and the holder of the crown, really starting to assert himself in this match.
I think he's going to be looking at taking this yellow long up the rail, leave himself on the 1 into the middle, and the frame will be at his mercy. Another great shot there from Gareth. It's not always easy, because sometimes when you're playing them shots at that pace up the table, the nap can just kick in,
or even the middle bump. But
and
you know
just,
something, again, just a testament to the fact that Gareth Potts has found a little bit of wind in his sail. A few shots ago, you wouldn't have given him a penny for the clearance. Now he's big favorite. But you might need a step ladder.
He's just had to be a little bit careful on that corner pocket there. He's queuing up.
To leave the other yellow to the same pocket. And for the second time, he will have pinched a frame on Adam Davis's break.
Yeah.
Pivotal. To go 3 clear.
Just going to be a little bit careful here because obviously he's hampered a little bit with his cue in here. That middle pocket.
No danger. Gareth Potts, 7-4 now in the race to 10.
13th frame. Adam Davis to break. Trailing 7 frames to 5.
And the last couple breaks for Adam Davis have gone awry. He trails Gareth Potts 7-5, frame number 13. Let's see if he can find the handle. Quickly, ball disappears. The order of the day.
Red ball potted.
And look at the reds.
Yeah, I think he'll be quickly nominating reds here.
Most difficult ball on the table as far as Adam's concerned is the 8.
Yeah, I think somewhere along the way just have to
Red ball's
nudge
in
that
play.
yellow that's just to the left as we look at the black there. I think other than that,
30 seconds.
a fantastic opportunity here for Adam to cut the deficit even further.
A real quality semi-final, living up to all expectations. Two top players on the tour, even though the 21-year-old at the table not nearly as well known as Gareth Potts. Well, stick around. He's going to be a big name, and soon.
Just taking that little bit of extra time here, Jim. Not trying to rush this finish. He knows that he needs to get this right. Doesn't want to be giving Gareth any chances to say he's been parked in his seat for virtually 4 frames. He wants to get Gareth sat in his seat for the next 3 or 4 frames as well.
30 seconds.
And taking this red, he'll free the pocket for the other. But the important one, I think, really boils down to cue ball position. A couple options. That red's open, but getting ideal position with all those yellows menacingly placed around it.
30 seconds.
Not easy. Oh, beautiful shot. Beautiful shot from Adam. That could have easily gone wrong.
Yeah, he took a little bit of a chance running to the yellow, but it's worked out very nicely for him rather.
All he wants to do here, though, Sean, is leave himself an angle. He'll take the red into the center. He'll leave himself on the left-hand side of the table with an angle, because he'll want to be playing that 8 into the left center. So the angle on the last red,
30
vital.
seconds.
He'd love to have been able to get to the position he was in shooting that red, but that's a perfect angle. Just screw that cue ball across the bed of the table and back over the right-hand side. Just slightly overhit that. Well, I'm not so sure he can see the 8.
No, I don't think he can. You saw his reaction there.
Oh, what a mistake, and at such a crucial time. Just when it looked like he was getting himself back into the match.
So when we saw the first shot there, I think he can probably actually see it.
Total snooker.
But, oh no, he can't see it. It's been given as a total snooker by the referee, Phil Turner. So I thought he might have just been able to flick the left-hand edge, but you see there on the overhead.
Oh, he has to be. He has to be churning inside, because that was a real opportunity thrown away. Now, he's got to try and fluke it. Well, he's got to hit it first. 2 visits.
Foul.
And that will likely cost him
2
the
visits.
frame. And talk about a difference. Could have been 7-6. Now he's staring at 8-5. Just a little too much adrenaline in that back arm. And with 2 visits, you really can't see Gareth Potts failing here.
Oh, Gareth must have been sat in his chair thinking that this was another frame that had slipped away from him. Not expecting a chance. It's been gratefully received. I'm sure the Potts supporters and Gareth himself will start seeing that finishing line.
I guess with a last name like Potts, he was only ever going to be a Q sportsman, wasn't he? Either that or a florist.
He's had 1 or 2 nicknames over the years. Potterlot is certainly one of the ones that the Stoke lads tended to use in the early days. Potsy, but he's now become the golden boy of English 8-ball pool.
Yeah, I rather prefer world champion.
I'm sure Gareth does as well.
Making short work of it, quickly administering punishment with the mistake. Didn't need the second visit. Gareth Potts 8-5 over Adam Davis. He wants 2 more for a place in the final.
14th frame. Gareth Potts to break.
It's an 8-5 lead that welcomes Gareth Potts back to the playing surface. His break and a chance to get even closer. Looking for a ball down here, and he wants to plant Adam Davis in his chair.
Oh, he was unlucky there. The red nearly found its way into the top right-hand corner pocket, but it stayed out. And that's not what he wanted. After securing that last frame after the Davis mistake, and he said he wanted to leave Davis in his chair. And just would have taken this frame with a break and finish. That would be one place, 1 frame away from a place in the World Championship final.
And the Reds look invitingly placed here for Adam.
Red ball's in play.
To be honest, either suit there, Jim, I think.
Yeah, you'd have to expect him to get out here.
So the only awkward thing about the red is that the Reds is that red that's right in the middle of the bottom rail. He's got to somehow get down for that position on that.
Well, I also think the only thing working against him is how he lost the last frame. I mean, has he forgotten that? He's a young man, you know, and the experience of being able to, put all those negative thoughts out of your mind, but he really should have taken the last frame as well.
Yeah, he's certainly got to erase that mistake from the memory banks, start afresh in this frame. Again, just left himself a little bit short on that shot. It's awkward now, he's going to have to watch this red, he's queuing over, stretching.
Just short of what would have been ideal position.
To be honest, almost from the start of this break, he's been out of position because he bumped that red onto the top rail with his first shot. I thought that was, he certainly wouldn't want to have done that because it made the shot more difficult.
Oh, and he's overcooked that as well. Now he's going to have to force the cue ball down off the yellow, and I'm not sure he can get there. He overhit that. It was a little too much force that cost him the last frame. Overhitting position to the final 8. And here again, now, as I said, he's going to have to force this down. And doesn't want to be straight. Now he's got a little angle. This looks good. Good recovery. And getting that cue ball to track through the yellow and down for this red was no mean feat. And how valuable this frame is to Adam Davis, and how important if he is to secure a massive upset here. Gets the 8, pulls one back, 8-6. Still to Gareth Potts, but Davis swipes the break.
Welcome back to Blackpool for more action from our first semi-final in the Foster's World 8-Ball Pool Championship between Adam Davis and Gareth Potts. Keith Brewer said before it started it would be a tight match, and that's just the way it's turned out to be.
Yeah, I think it's living up to all expectations, really. You know, both players on very good form, excellent to watch so far.
It's a high-quality match, isn't it? Everyone's enjoying this one.
Yeah, I mean, I really do think, you know, these are like the two best players probably left in the tournament on current form, and they're producing.
And you're standing by that brave shout, Adam Davis just.
It's a brave shout, isn't it? But Gareth played an awesome finish in the last frame, so yeah, I don't see why not. We'll see how it turns out.
We'll see, Keith. Thanks very much indeed. Right, let's now go back to the action.
Frame number 15. Adam Davis. Superstar in the making. Has his time come? Well, he hopes so. He's got a lot of work to do. He trails Gareth Potts 8-6, but with the break in 15. And a ball down.
Red ball potted.
Gotta be Reds here.
I was going to say, it's got to be Reds, I would think, here.
Red ball's in play.
Just seems to have refound the form with the break shot.
The secret. He's found the secret again. The secret that man has owned in the early going. 7-4, Gareth led at one point.
30 seconds.
Difficult long red. Now, what a show of confidence. That was not the easiest starter. And that's the Gareth Potts camp right there. And you didn't see a lot of applause from that side.
No, there wasn't too many smiles either. There's some looks of concern there, because they know that Gareth is in the match of his life here against Adam Davis. Been quite easy for Adam to come out and show Gareth far too much respect. You know, he's known Gareth for a long time. They probably played each other quite a lot, particularly locally.
30 seconds.
And probably in the early years, Gareth's had the edge over him, but Adam, you know, is a great player in his own right now, and there's no reason why he couldn't take out the defending champion here.
Well, he's already taken out a defending champion, or a former champion, in Mick Hill, and a real character-building result that was in the last 32. 8-7 went right to the decider. So if that doesn't give you a little bit of intestinal fortitude, nothing will.
Thirty seconds.
Adam just taking his time here again. He's just settling himself, just taking that little bit extra amount of time on shots. Sure, he knows the way he's going to go here, Jim, but just making doubly sure.
And you know what I noticed too, looking at Adam, is he's not blinking very often. I mean, he really is in the zone right now. Those eyes rarely leave that 4 by 8 foot surface. And they seem to be saucer-like. Big shot coming right here. Needs position to that 8. And he doesn't have a lot of angle with which to work. Well, I wonder if he's going to opt for a deep screw back off that left-hand cushion. But, or does he have angle? Can he force this in and get that white above the yellows? Looks like he can. A little bit of angle there. Thumps it in, needs it above the yellows, and he's there. Great performance. Just settling in. Vital 8. And he knows it.
Yeah, he's just hampered a little bit here by the middle pocket. So that's why he's just made his mind which way he wants to go.
And thumped it right into the back of the pocket. 8-7. Fasten your seatbelts. This one's a long ways from over.
16th frame. Gareth Potts to break. Leading 8 frames to 7.
And rack number 16 unfolds. 8-7 to Gareth Potts. Red down. Yellow into the
Yellow
center as well.
Red and yellow balls potted.
Yeah, he's
Red ball
quickly
from the
nominated reds. He just looked like he took a little bit off that break, Jim. It wasn't quite the full power break we've been seeing earlier. It certainly worked.
And looking at his face, you know, if he's nervous at all, he certainly masks it well.
I mean, this is a fairly straightforward finish, and I think you'll see Gareth just pick the pace up maybe a little bit. Just sort of put his marker down to Adam and say, oh, there you are. I've just put myself just 1 frame away from that final. You need all of these now.
No, and it's going to be an unforced error. If Adam Davis does come back to the table, it's going to be a very unexpected miss.
And there's been very few unforced errors in this game, Jim. I think there's maybe one from Gareth early on, the one from Adam, where he didn't get position on the blacks, left himself snookered. That's been about it. Been a high-quality match.
From the outset, Sean. Just float this in.
Yeah, he's just double-checking where he wants to leave this cue ball from up the table. Just visualise the shot that he wants to play on that last red.
What a time for a break and finish from Gareth Potts. Talk about a tonic for an ailing player. Just like that, he gets himself right to the hill of the win. He needs 1 more frame for a place in the final. 9-7 with Davis to break in the next.
17th frame. Adam Davis to break.
Frame number 17.
Trailing 9
Cue
frames
ball
to 7.
passed over to the 21-year-old Adam Davis. To stay alive, he's got to win this and all remaining frames. Last 3. 9-7. And what a time for the break to desert him. Just can't legislate for when the break is working and when it isn't. I mean, you'd think when the players find that secret and find the answer, get a ball or 2 off the break, they know they're going to leave the cue ball in the same area, try and attack it at the same speed. Works one day, leaves you begging the next.
Yeah. Not the easiest of tables here. Gareth is going to take yellows. He's got that little cluster of these 3 yellows around the black down the table. I don't think any of them pot. Well, one at the bottom one pots into the bottom right-hand corner. We're just going to have to do a little bit of development work on the others. He might even have the angle here.
Well, Sean, depends how aggressive he wants to get, but he definitely has the angle on this yellow. Does he attack that cluster? I guarantee you that's what's going through his mind.
30 seconds.
Quick look at the shot clock. 60 seconds these players are afforded. Still, he's got the angle. Yellow into the left center. And how these yellows develop will tell a tale.
I think his face may tell the tale before we see the table. Whether he can see that ball below the black into the left-hand middle.
Keep going, shot. Into the left center. Well, he saw the double. You could see the other yellow.
Red ball's in play.
I think when he's played the one into the middle, he's actually hit the wrong ball. He was looking at contacting probably the yellow that's just to the right of the black now. It would have given him a better split. I think he's might even have contacted Adam's red actually, and certainly didn't split the way he was looking. So it looked like he'd got the one into the middle, but opted for the double.
Oh, a chance, half a chance. This was Adam's break. So he really can't afford, well, of course he can't afford the obvious, be out of the event if he lost this frame, but he's got to hold serve at the very least.
Just not convinced whether he's actually going to go for the finish here, because he's got the similar problem, that red that's just above the black. And I think he's just looked, well, maybe he's just looked to cover the pocket there, but he hasn't done.
Nothing would make that man happier and more proud than to secure the Foster's World 8-Ball Pool Championship crown. A new sponsor coming on board this year. Wouldn't he love to show them a new champion?
He's finished very straight on the one into the bottom right-hand corner. I think he was maybe looking at leaving an angle on that. He could have tried to stun into that pack of two yellows, the black and the red. And with having the other two reds at that bottom end of the table where they are, would have been very unlucky not to have left himself on one of those. See there, very straight.
30 seconds.
Perhaps going to have to take the bottom left-hand corner here.
Just a little bit of movement in that action that time. As solid as he's been, just a little bit of unforced movement. But still, a lot of work to do for Gareth Potts.
He was showing you where he's, with his cue, where he wanted to leave this cue ball. I think after this shot, he's going to be looking to draw down the table a little bit further down to the left as we look than he is now.
Well, that yellow obviously passes, but the one just to the right of the 8 as we look is the one that concerns us. Does it pass into the top right corner? Because if it does, he could elect to try and play on it. If not, he'll try and play the long yellow to the top right as we look and try and draw down behind, try and get below the yellow to possibly dislodge the other yellow. Yeah, he's overhit it by some ways. He tried to get low, and I mean he hasn't overhit it by that much, to be fair, but enough.
Sure, this is going to be thin, and I think he might actually, he's looking there where it'll just run into the red. Move the red out of the way and almost leave the yellow where it is.
No, I think he might even be flicking the 8 as well, Sean. He just overdrew it by about 6 inches. But the hard part is controlling both the cue ball and the yellow. Oh, look at these, just about made the 8.
I was going to say, up for the yellow not getting in the way. The 8 would have been down, and the frame would have been lost.
Well, he turns away in anguish, but you know something? He pretty well got second place, didn't he? Because he's covered that pocket, and there's a few of Adam Davis's colors in close proximity to the pocket that's guarded. Well, not the worst result.
I don't know, I wonder if Gareth thinks that the red that's directly above the black goes off the black into the corner pocket.
I think that's exactly what Gareth thinks.
And obviously by playing that, the black would come out, free the pocket for the other red that's just above the black now as we look.
Well, this is exactly what Adam Davis is going to be doing. He's going to be looking to take the red into the center and play the red on the right-hand side. And she's got, well, she may not have fingernails left. Oh, yes.
Just to the left, that's Adam's sister as well. She's looking unconcerned.
$30.
Well, red into the center, and then he's got to play that red off the 8.
The problem with it is just going to have to trust a little bit to luck here as to where that black goes. It doesn't get something like a kiss, double kiss.
And Sean, that's giving him the red, which is far from easy. Oh, beautifully played. Perfection. Couldn't have played that any better.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure was incredible on that shot. You know, one mistake then would have ended his chances of lifting this title.
To get back to 9-8. Just bobbing and weaving, but he needs this. And he gets it. 9-8. The score here from the Imperial Hotel. Gareth Potts still in front, and with the break in the next.
Leading 9 frames to 8.
Frame number 18. Gareth Potts looking to seal the deal. Ball down.
He's made a yellow. He's made a yellow, 2 yellows and a red.
Red and yellow ball spotted.
Stood in the table because it just looks a little bit messy there. There's a red and a yellow close to the black. Black where it is not a gimme into that middle pocket.
Yeah, 2 yellows and a red deposited off that break. 3 balls. But a red and a yellow at the top end nearest the 8 pose problems as far as Gareth is concerned right now. So no easy path through.
Yellow ball's in play.
And he opts for yellows. Oh, what a shot. What a start. Those of you thought that one might have been tricky, don't know Gareth Potts. And how much courage does this young man have?
I think he's just been a little bit unlucky there, because I think if he'd have finished a little bit further to the right than where he is, he'd have had this yellow into bottom left. And could have been looked at disturbing both the yellow, the red and the black, freeing them up.
30
As it is,
seconds.
he's going to have to take this one.
Well, once again, Sean, not perfectly positioned. Will Adam get another chance? Now he can get the yellow, but he's got the wrong angle to get to the last.
Yeah, just wanted to be a little bit further down the table as we look there on the overhead camera.
30 seconds.
And he doesn't have a lot of options here. I mean, he might have to just try and leave himself a very thin cut. And that's what he's done. So, going to be all or nothing right here. And he's looking at the thin cut down the corner pocket. And position isn't guaranteed, even should he get it. What a shot. What a shot. Oh,
He's lost the cue ball.
tremendous pot.
2 visits.
And he gets punished.
Red ball's in play. Time running.
Well, just like that. The lonely walk back to your chair, but what a turn up that is. You can hardly believe it.
Problem is there, he just never quite got back into the right position. He'd got out of position early, and the finish just got more and more difficult as it went on.
And he never did have position to the 8. That was always going to be in question, but still it was a tremendous shot from Potts, only to see Adam Davis come to the table after the foul with 2 visits. Well, only time will tell whether he'll need both visits, but yet again, it is going to be down to 1 frame. This year's World Championship has just served just when you thought it couldn't get any better. And what's more, Adam Davis will have the break in the deciding frame. You'll roll this one down, Sean, and it won't be at speed.
No, it's always difficult to play at speed. Could just hit both knuckles and go safe, but that's perfect. That's in.
Never did need the second visit. 9s are wild. The race to 10. Jake, between 2 fouls. Adam Davis with the break. It's 1 frame to decide who will contest the World Championship final and who will become a spectator. Davis desperately needing a successful break. He'll never hit a bigger one. Cue ball into the middle pocket. Well, that's exactly what Gareth Potts would have hoped for.
Open table.
Instantly.
Time running.
Back to the table, ball in hand.
A look of concern there on Adams, the face of Adam's girlfriend and the rest of his supporters. They just wonder, as Adam just played his last shot in these championships. Jim.
But off the break, it's not 2 visits, Sean, so he's got that going for him anyway.
Well, it's only 1, but it's open table, and Gareth's got a choice here. I think, looking at the split there, I think he's going to take reds here.
I agree. I think reds have to be the color of choice. I mean, everything available, again, under normal circumstances, and these are far from normal circumstances.
Red ball's in play.
But what a time for Adam Davis to come up with a foul off the break.
Yeah, I think that's the first one we've actually had in this match, Jim. You want to say it's a mistake. I mean, the pressure's incredible at this stage. You know, for the cue ball to finish in the middle pocket. You know, it's unlucky.
30 seconds.
A couple tricky reds that Gareth is going to have to try and contend himself with, and the two nearest the middle of the table, just roughly where the pink spot would be on a snooker table, and to the right of it, both available from the right-hand side, but only from specific areas.
I think Gareth's got an angle here. Is he looking actually to cannon up into the yellow? Great shot there from Potts.
Risky though, little risky shot, and that could have easily fallen in front of the 8 too.
Well, they say that fortune favours the brave, and that was certainly a brave shot from Gareth Potts at this point in the game.
Still got some work to do. And that's an understatement. One of the difficult reds gone, and he's looking at the second here. The 8 will be available into the center pocket. I think Gareth has already mapped his path. Now, can he navigate through?
He's just going to have to make one good shot there. He's just looking where he wants to leave the cue ball for the red into the top right. He's going to come back down the table with the cue ball for the black into the centre. It's just about perfect. Stun this off the side rail and back across.
That was the ball. That was the shot. And I'll tell you what, he's just a little short. He stunned it. This is definitely makeable, but a thinner clip than he would have liked. It's there. Gareth Potts is through to his second successive final. A winner last year. Will he be the first to defend the title? The buddies embrace. 10-9. Gareth Potts through to the final.
So what a terrific first semi-final we've had here at Blackpool. Keith Brewer is with me. Keith, you suspected it would be very close, and it really couldn't have been tighter.
Yeah, I had a feeling it could go the distance, and it was a great match. Let's face it, it's one of them you don't like to see a loser, and unfortunately, Adam scratching there on the last frame gave Gareth the opportunity that he was wanting.
And the defending champion is through, but only just.
Only just, but he was very impressive, and I think if he can keep up that form in the final, he'll take some beating.
OK, let's just break away for a moment, Keith. We can now hear from Gareth Potts. He's with Jim.
Just a tremendous match, Gareth, and you have to be delighted on one hand, disappointed in the other. A good buddy sent out, but you played some kind of match there.
Yeah, well, I think that's definitely one of the best matches I've ever been involved in, and all the time I've been playing on TV. I think the standard was brilliant. Adam played fantastic, as I knew he would. I knew I was going to have a tough game there. Just absolutely delighted to come through it, but obviously very disappointed for Adam because we are great friends. But he has come on leaps and bounds, and he is a fantastic player, and I'm sure that one day he will win this title.
Now your nerves, they really must have been tingling going through that last clearance.
Yeah, well, especially what had happened before, because I'd had 2 half chances from 9-7. I'd had an half chance and took my eye off the pot, and I landed perfect on my last ball. And then, you know, the last frame there, I've clipped off the red and gone and off in the corner. So obviously the momentum's with Adam, and obviously I was delighted to see him break off and going off, and they weren't easy. I had to play a couple of cannons and nudges here and there, and like I said, I was just absolutely delighted to get through.
Well, this title has never been successfully defended.
No, well, I've sort of tried not to think about that too much. I'm just here to concentrate on one match at a time, and one frame at a time, one shot at a time, and that's the attitude I've had.
Now, what about your opponent in the final now, Gareth? I mean, any preference? You know them both well.
Yeah, well, obviously I'm in the England team with both of them. Gareth's obviously a bit new to this. It was his first time out in the quarter-final match against Lee, but Jason's an experienced. He's won it twice, so I expect a tough game whoever I play.
What sort of preparation for Gareth Potts leading up to the final?
Well, I've got I played the team final first, so then I'll just get a practice session in, get away for a little bit, go out for a bit of fresh air, and hopefully I can lift the title again.
Well, there's going to be an awful lot of people watching that final, and it's going to be another monumental one, Gareth. All the best. Great match.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks.
So there we are. Refreshing to hear from Gareth. So honest and open, and obviously thoroughly enjoying what was a high-quality match. He confirmed what we said. It was a terrific quality game.
Well, it's certainly the best one this year, and I think actually it's probably the best one I've seen for quite a few years.
Yes, and nice that he had a word or two for Adam too, because they're good buddies. Shame that he had to lose, but I mean, that was it.
Yeah, they're from the same town, you see, so they obviously know each other's game very well. A lot of respect out there. He knew he had a tough match.
Yeah, great entertainment though for everyone here at Blackpool, and hopefully for you at home.